The call came at 2:14 a.m., slicing through the quiet of my new apartment like a blade. I wasn't asleep. Sleep had become a kind of fiction after the divorce, but the sound still jolted something buried deep in me. Her name lit up the screen. My ex-wife. The woman I hadn't heard from since she signed the papers with a smile too bright to be honest. I let it ring. Once. Twice. 3 times. On the 4th, I answered, not out of longing, but curiosity. Curiosity is a slow poison. It makes you open doors you should leave shut. All I heard at first was breathing, shallow, unsteady, nothing like the rehearsed confidence she used to wear like perfume. Then her voice broke through. Why would someone say that about you? At my wedding? A pause. Not for effect, for control. She was trying to steady herself, but her edges were already fraying. I didn't speak. They said you knew, she whispered. Knew about him. Knew long before I thought you did. And that you planned things, left clues. Another silence. I felt something unfamiliar then. Not guilt, not pain, just inevitability. She exhaled shakily. Tell me it's not true. But she didn't want the truth. She wanted the version of me she betrayed, naive, slow, forgiving. That man no longer existed. I didn't answer her question. Instead, I let my mind drift back to the first fracture in our marriage. It was small, always is. A hollow laugh, a late return, a name she repeated one too many times, her coworker. I remember watching her pour coffee one morning, humming a song she had no reason to know, a song he posted online the night before. She didn't even notice I was staring at her, mapping the distance between us like a crime scene photographer. The betrayal wasn't cinematic. It was quiet, ordinary, domestic. That's what made it lethal. The denial came later, hers, not mine. She was never good at lying. She always over-explained, always filled silence with excuses. I didn't confront her, I observed her. People reveal more when they think you're blind. The missed calls, the sudden gym membership, the new perfume she claimed she just liked, and the pregnancy scare, the one she swore came from me, even though intimacy between us had already become a chore performed out of habit. Suspicion grew slowly. Not painful, just cold, a gradual freezing. My investigation wasn't dramatic. It was methodical, clinical, the way you approach a dying animal, with caution, with distance. First came the phone records, numbers that repeated, times that didn't match her stories. Then the quiet drive to the clinic for a DNA test she never knew happened. I kept the results sealed, untouched, like a live grenade. Next, the digital trail. You'd be surprised what people leave behind. Browser histories, hidden folders, photos cropped too tightly. I worked in silence, carrying myself like nothing was wrong. She mistook my calm for trust, but underneath, something inside me was calculating, measuring the shape of the truth. The day she told me she wanted a divorce, she said it with relief, as if freeing herself from a secret. I didn't argue. I nodded, signed, packed. 2 weeks later, I was living abroad, in a city where no one knew her name. I thought distance would dull the edges, but truth doesn't fade. It waits. And tonight, her call told me it had finally caught up to her. She asked again, her voice trembling now. Did you know? Back then? I could picture her, still in her wedding dress, makeup cracking, the man she left me for standing clueless somewhere behind her. Guests whispering. A comment dropped like a match in a dry field. I reached into the drawer beside me and pulled out the envelope. Unopened. Unnecessary. I always knew the answer. Yes, I said, finally. Just that. A single word. A quiet detonation. On the other end, she inhaled sharply, as if the world around her had tilted. Then, the horrifying realization in her voice. So, the baby? It was never mine. Calm, measured, final. The sob that followed wasn't grief. It was the collapse of a story she built out of lies and comfort. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't accuse her. Revenge doesn't require violence, just truth delivered at the right moment. The guest was right, I said. I knew long before you thought I did. A pause. I simply let you choose your ending. She broke then, completely. Her words dissolved into fragments, apologies, questions, regrets. The kind of incoherent desperation people reach for when the illusion shatters. I listened, not out of sympathy, but closure. When she begged to meet, I smiled. Not cruelly, just knowingly. No, I said, your story doesn't include me anymore. Silence. Heavy. Absolute. After the call ended, I sat in the dark with the unopened envelope resting in my hand. An artifact of a war I no longer needed to fight. I realized something then, something sharp and strangely liberating. The truth wasn't for me. It was for her. The wedding, the vow, the man she chose over me, none of it mattered. Not anymore. She had built her future on a lie. And tonight, I simply let gravity do the rest. I dropped the envelope into the trash without opening it. For the first time in years, I felt light. Some endings don't require closure, only distance, and I had already walked far enough to never look back.